Okay, let's just get right into it with an uncomfortable truth. A slow reply can feel like a punch to the gut, right? You send a message, you see that it's been delivered, maybe even read, and then just silence. Your mind just floods with the worst case scenarios, doesn't it? What did I do? Are they mad at me? Are they ghosting me? It's a whole spiral triggered by just three little words. Oh, you know this feeling. You glance at your phone, and there it is. Last message seen. And just like that, your stomach drops. Your mind starts spinning out, rereading every single word you typed, trying to find the one thing, the one mistake you must have made. It is such a tiny detail on a screen, but man, it can anchor a whole universe of doubt right inside you. It stops feeling like a status update and starts feeling like a verdict. So our automatic reaction is to make it all about us. We immediately write this whole story where we're the villain, or we're annoying, or we're not important. But what if that whole story is just fiction? What if that delay has almost nothing to do with you, and everything to do with the crazy, complicated stuff happening on their side of the screen? Let's peel back the curtain and see what's really going on. All right, first up, the anxious perfectionist. This is our first major clue, and it's a huge one, because for so many slow repliers, the problem isn't that they don't care. Believe it or not, it's that they care way, way too much. For them, a simple message isn't just a chat, it's a performance. And that pressure to get it absolutely perfect, it can be totally paralyzing. Just try to picture this. They open your message, they want to reply, but then they freeze. They type something out, read it, and nope, delete. They try again. Still doesn't sound right. Is the tone okay? Is it funny enough? Did I use the right emoji? It gets so overwhelming, this need to craft the perfect response, that it just feels easier to do nothing at all. This is not apathy, my friends. This is pure response anxiety. I mean, this is basically a window right into their brain. This is not someone who's just brushing you off. This is someone who is deeply, deeply concerned about how you're going to perceive them. Every single one of these questions is born from a fear of being misjudged. So here's the crazy insight, right? The delay isn't a sign of how little they care what you think. It's a sign of how much. So we've looked inside their head at that internal struggle. But what about the world around them? What if the issue isn't just their personal anxiety, but it's more like a quiet rebellion against this unspoken rule of our digital lives? This brings us to a huge external pressure. The tyranny of now. I mean, we are living in the age of instant everything. We've built this whole culture on an invisible rule. If you can be reached, you must reply immediately. It's this relentless pressure to be available, to be on 24/7. But here's the thing, not everybody actually agreed to those terms. Seriously, think about it like this. A phone call is synchronous. We both agree to show up and talk at the same time. But texting? Texting was born to be asynchronous. You send it, they get to it when they can. The problem is, our expectations have totally warped that. We now treat this asynchronous tool like it's a synchronous demand. And some people are just pushing back, trying to use texting for what it was meant for. Convenience, not a court summons. And this right here, this nails the central conflict. On your side, the expectation can be a text is a summons and silence is just disrespectful. But on their side, the reality might be a text is a request, not an order, and my silence isn't disrespect, it's a boundary. It's me trying to protect my own focus and my own sanity. Now, this is going to sound totally backward, but just stick with me on this. We've talked about the perfectionist who cares too much, but there is another, much deeper reason why someone who truly, genuinely cares about you might be the absolute last person to get back to you. And it's because of a psychological trap that is incredibly hard to escape from. And that trap? It's called the avoidance spiral. This is what happens when a message stops feeling like a simple communication and starts feeling like a task or a problem or even an emotional weight. And our brain's number one reaction to stress? Simple. Get away from it. Avoid. So here's how it works. A message comes in that needs a thoughtful reply, or maybe it's about a difficult subject. You just don't have the energy for it right now. So you tell yourself, I'll do it later. And for a split second, you feel this little hit of relief. But then, something else creeps in. Guilt. You know you should have replied. And now, the message isn't just a message anymore. It's become this giant, glowing monument to your procrastination. And that weight just gets heavier and heavier with every hour that goes by. It is such a vicious cycle. It starts with one stressful text. You avoid it for just a little bit of peace, but that peace is like a loan with a really high interest rate. And guilt is the loan shark. The guilt makes the message seem even more intimidating. So now, to reply, you don't just have to deal with the original message, you have to climb this mountain of anxiety you've built around it. The person is trapped. They want to reply, they really do, but they feel completely paralyzed by the sheer weight of the delay itself.
Okay, so we've got the anxious perfectionist, the rebellion against the tyranny of now, and this awful avoidance spiral. Three very different things, right? Three different psychological reasons, but they all point back to one singular, incredibly powerful truth.
And here it is. This is the idea that changes the entire game. The next time you are staring at that unanswered message, I want you to remember this. The silence is almost never personal. This right here, this is the aha moment. We tend to think a person's reply speed is a window that lets us see how they feel about us. It is not a window. It's a mirror. A slow reply is just a reflection of their internal state, their stress level, their anxiety, their workload, their emotional capacity at that moment. It's a mirror showing you what's going on inside of them, not a judgment on you. Let that just sink in for a second. Their reply speed is not about your worth. It's about their capacity. When you can truly reframe it like that, everything shifts. You stop asking, what did I do wrong? And you start wondering, I wonder what they might be going through. You move from a place of rejection to a place of compassion. It's not about you. It's just about what they can handle right now. Now, understanding their psychology is huge, but it's only half the battle. The final, most important step is to turn that understanding inward. It's all about shifting your own mindset from one of anxious waiting to one of genuine self-awareness. So I want to leave you with this. The next time you catch yourself anxiously checking your phone, waiting for that reply, just pause and ask yourself this one question. Am I waiting for a message, or am I waiting for a feeling? Am I really just waiting for information, or am I waiting for relief, for validation, for reassurance? Because realizing that you've outsourced your emotional well-being to someone else's reply speed, that is the first step to taking your power back. Your peace of mind should never, ever depend on someone else's notification.